St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church has been home to hundreds of families for over 50 years. So many have been baptized here, grown up here, participated in youth activities here, and even gotten married here. St. Nicholas is not just our place of worship, it is truly our home.
With all its beauty and all its comfort, the harsh reality is that every year our church operates at a financial deficit. For decades, our stewardship income represents about 2/3 of our annual expenses. We then rely on the festival, the golf tournament, and countless other fundraisers to close the gap.
Stewardship is the backbone of the church and the backbone of what we do, because without it, we can't have anything else.
In terms of being an Orthodox Christian, after the divine liturgy, stewardship comes first.
It's literally what the church breathes on. Without stewardship, none of this would be possible.
We all know by now that stewardship is the giving of our time, our talent, and our treasure. However, we avoid discussing the treasures. So this video is about stewardship, and specifically, the amount of money needed to operate our church.
Talking about money is uncomfortable. Oftentimes it can turn people off. People feel that churches are always asking for money. We're not asking for money, we're asking for people's participation. We're asking for people to invest.
Without people writing a check to the church every month or every year, we could not have a place for people to give their time and talent.
There's absolutely no difference between managing our personal finances and the finances of our church. Unfortunately, our expenses have always exceeded our income. This year, the operating budget of the church is $905,000. That's the amount needed to pay the mortgage, the gas and electric bills, the telephone bills, the basic operating expenses of the church. We have projected that we will generate $530,000 from stewardship. That leaves a negative balance of $375,000.
Every year we look at new and creative ways in which to cut expenses so that we can meet the entire operating budget. The problem with that is we end up cutting the budget so severely that we end up cutting from the ministries.
The answer is certainly not to come up with new and creative ways to raise money. The answer is simple. We must meet the expenses of the church through stewardship.
Stewardship at its very core is sacrificial. Stewardship has to be something that we give of first from our monthly expenses. Stewardship needs to be first, not last.
You need to look back and recognize what this church has done for you and the changes that it made in our lives, like I say for me. And we need to recognize that and say, you know, it's our time to step up.
We have approximately 400 stewards at St. Nicholas Church. That's an average of $2,250 per family. Does this mean that every family has to give that amount? Absolutely not. There are families which can't afford to do so, but there are many others who can give more.
We are no longer in a position to suggest. We are now in a position where we need to ask. If your commitment is less than the average, try and stretch and meet it. If your commitment is more than the average, try and give a little bit more.
We know that we can achieve our goal, but we can only do it with your help. Let's pay our bills with stewardship funds, and then let's cut back on the amount of energy we spend in looking for other people to pay our bills.
If stewardship covered the entire operating budget of the parish, imagine what we could do. Philanthropically throughout the valley, for our young people, scholarships for our children to go to college. If a parishioner is hurting and unable to pay their bills, the church can help. Unfortunately, right now, we're not in that position, but wouldn't that be beautiful?